So enough rainy days have passed. Usually I try to do a video every day, like of updating like what has gone on, but I think I really made a good morning video that day, so it's kind of like don't want to ruin that. But anyways, there is more that goes on because it's 24 hours in a day, and the problem is that starting December 19th, 2015. It's constant unpacking, and staying ahead of the game with him. Him being my ex-husband. Because there's something that his former employers have taught him, and it's not correct. And the same thing with the transgender. And what ends up happening is it creates a form of aggression. And it is because all I'm doing is like just trying to reason out, just like my communication skills classes have taught me, which is basically the anger management classes. You know, you try to talk, but it's almost like he says he's fed up with the government and that he wants to kill all the Democrats and stuff. And a part of me tunes him out, but then a part of me gets concerned because it's like, you know, the Democrats have been helping in fixing like the 4 years of nothing that Trump does, because it shows, like I say, in the debates. And unfortunately, I have to be careful because the last time it was just like I'd switch sides. It was a lot of issues with women because they're like, I've been a Democrat ever since I was young and da-da-da-da-da. And then it's just like, okay, but how many of you are sitting back and staying back saying that this is a crock of shit half the time? Anyways, so December 19, 2015 comes along, unpacking until 3 in the morning, and then complete exhaustion. December 20th comes into play. Now it's, you know, my parents are back in Michigan. They're going to get ready to leave and stuff, and then it's me and him stuck. The first thing that comes out of his mouth is, I can't wait to have sex, and it's like, I'm turned off immediately, because I don't want it, knowing fully what's going on and what's about to happen come February and March. So it's constant, it's still more unpacking, and thank God for the holidays, because there is no ability to have it. So now the phone calls start, like I said, they start coming in because now people in Michigan don't know why. They woke up and they seen like the clocks have changed back and all this stuff, and it should be point obvious, and I don't think people are getting it. So I have a funny feeling that during the year of 2020, where everybody's home and listening to the news, like it almost like it pops the memory cells, because like there's the same group of people. I sit on the ferry boat to Block Island, and not a single one of them can like snap out of it and say, hey, wait a minute, we've been on this before. So I do the same thing again, and everybody gets upset with me. It's not easy. And I'm not happy. That's probably like the only thing I start to look forward to, is because once we get on the ferry, that's how I know like we're gonna go right through it, and it's almost like a speed booster, because it's like it just like psh, everybody starts like warping through everything. So, but here comes December 20th to talk about being with family. Once again, the family does not want me around, and it's obvious, because there's already tension building up and stuff. And then it becomes, well, I'm being antisocial. How can I be antisocial if I'm going through this, knowing fully well that the end result is me being with my parents at home with Pumpkin and my 2 cats, going through a divorce and bankruptcy, and then getting ready to file a lawsuit against, like, everybody, because it's just like, how can you be so stupid to not know that we've been through this, and that you put me through a lot of emotional distress, because the way they make money is not healthy at all. And it's true, I have to be an empty bank account every single month in order to prevent them from doing like a social security check and seeing how much money is in my bank account and stuff like that, because they do. Because when Kathy Osmond shows up on the premises at Mandeville as one of the girlfriends, it becomes obvious that there's somebody with a personal bond stuff. The ability to do personal bond tasks, like looking up Social Security, seeing what's in all the bank accounts, seeing what they have to contribute and stuff, because they don't have an ability to make money. So what they do is that they get you to, they do enough Q-tipping in their asses and genitals that it becomes really crazy and maniacal. And when I say crazy and maniacal, I mean it, because the moment they start bringing this brain teaser in with it's the bottle, the glass bottles with all the stuff on it, the moment they break it, you can tell, like, whatever the hell they've been doing, it like pops their bubbles. I try to videotape it, I try to record it, and the problem is that Steve, that gets into a fight with my ex-husband, he's really a conniving motherfucker. When I say conniving, I mean conniving, but we all know he can't handle erotic. So that like push, that mental push, because they believe in a different type of Hinduism. Yeah, Pumpkin's out here. I'm with her. She's fine. She's having a blast. Come here, Pumpkin. Anyway, so there's something weird that goes on. And unfortunately, I can't record it, because every single time I record it, it's almost like it's a constant, like, look over the shoulder type thing. And it's creepy, it's kooky, and it's actually very sexual harassment-y. And then it ends up going off onto him. So the filth goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yes, the whole point is to stay in my seat, but there's a problem with that, because at the same time, my ex-husband is setting up affairs as he's going along, because we don't get the Sensate packet, or I don't get the Sensate paperwork until like a year after. And I don't believe in Sensate. If you can't get it up, then that means something's wrong with you. And especially with going through this back and forth, it's just... if I was a guy and I had known that we weren't dying through a D-Day, H-bomb effect, and we weren't, all going through the rebirth, I would say to the person, stop using your credit cards, give me your credit cards, we'll freeze them all, and then we'll zero them out, and then we'll just cut them up and then go separate ways. It doesn't work like that. It actually gets threatening, because come springtime, it's actually springtime, and I think it was springtime. Actually, it was right after the affair, so it was March. So between January and March, he gets hostile, and the camera is not on to capture him throwing a fist into my driver's side window with his wedding band on. So it is a throw. It is, and it's the wedding band that I bought him. So things to remember is like a big no-no. It's a big no-no, because that was the first wasted money I had to spend in order to avoid having to call or contribute to CP. They don't do anything. They don't make anything happen. They don't do, it's nothing. It doesn't work anymore, because of the fact we're constantly going around in a circle and in a circle and in a circle. So it's a waste of money. Had he given me those things, I would have smashed them, because we got like we got a sledgehammer. I would have smashed it immediately. But yes, that's the first wasted spending, instead of me putting the money into Forever 21. So it's almost like do the 2 years full of grocery shopping that I need to get, which is usually the household items like the detergent, fabric softener. I got to learn how to go scale back by a few big bottles, because we don't go through it, and I usually start off with one, and it's like, okay, and maybe that's what I do, is I treat it like the cat litter. But so that's the first wasteful spending. The next one is the tea, because that's the first thing he says, you need to buy tea, because I'm not having you blah 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 blah. It's some crazy weird fucking excuse. And so I end up asking the Starbucks people, can I put in a shipment, for an extra box and pick it up? And it's like, We don't do that. So it's almost like there's a complete block to do anything right for me and to make it all great for him. And it's not. It's all to make him look good. But because Scientology and Miscavige have been monitoring me ever since I got the letter from Miscavige and did the donation, and then found out what his cousin did, the female cousin of disgust. So it's becoming it's becoming like a major cat fight. We're all like, I'm getting mostly mutilated and beaten up and stuff, and somehow he's walking away with most of the money and not having to be responsible for anything. But yet he's having an affair with the accountant, because I never meet the accountant, but I find out that he's gone for like 2 hours with lunch and stuff and all that. And because remember, it's like, oh, I'm going out, I'll be gone for an hour, and then he comes back and it's like 2 hours have passed. So, and I never know where she's at, and I'm not allowed to go visit the accountant because apparently I'm not polite with her, and I really don't care. Not when I'm finding out he's having an affair. It goes downhill. It goes downhill real fast. Where it goes downhill bad is when I'm stuck in January. Instead of being home, throwing out, unpacking some more, throwing out, and then waiting it out until May. Because I know like there's going to be 4 moves. And each move comes with, you need to get rid of shit, you need to get rid of shit, you need to get rid of shit. And it's just like, this was all the stuff we were talking about, like, we're going to get a nice place and make it home, and it ends up being like, we get into a place and there's no space. So, it's almost like, if I destroy something he's bought as a gift, then I'm in the wrong. And it's not. It's like, I know what the end outcome is going to be. You might as well just let me destroy it all. Because it serves no purpose here. It serves no purpose here. And it's not going to serve any purpose, come 4 years later, 8 years later, 12 years later. So, after the transgender in February, it becomes February, March. We'll just give it some space, because I don't know like how much radio CBC he's been listening to and all that stuff. After that, it's I want to keep fucking, and it's just like, I don't want it. And it's not like I have an option at all, because what ends up happening is that I end up seeing me losing the job at Forever 21 to something by saying no. So it's almost like Kathy Osmond, Steve, Carla, Tom, Jean, Bob, Danielle, and Danielle's brother, like, they all have something on me, and that's not right, because the whole point about doing all this is to be correct, not right. There's a difference between being correct and right. And that means, like, if you're complaining about something come 4 years later, you should have fixed it 4 years ago. So that's what it means to be correct. So all these phone calls that the people are making at Sylvan should not be happening, because it's bad enough that teachers don't get paid enough, and it's just like, why would you do that? Number one. Number two, why can't you just learn to deal with somebody the way they are? So those series of phone calls really put me in the ground. They do, because I'm still a vampire. I'm still a vampire. And taking on the name Wilhelmina is not going to fix the problem. It doesn't fix anything. It just makes it worse. And in fact, I don't think I want to be fighting with my son Conyer Mina on that name, because it just provokes it. She hates me as it is. And I don't need to lose an eye like I did the last time. So, going with a name that's not American is the goal. So it seems like in the first 2 weeks I have to hit all the goals and then try to put them in motion as fast as I can, but it's almost like the energy to do it is sucked away, and I don't know why. I mean, I kind of do, but then at the same time, I have I have the logical battle of wits to say that it's going to happen either one way or another. Like, for instance, if I do the name change within the first 3 months, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference because no one calls me by my new name anyways, so, except at work. So it wouldn't make a difference if I changed it before KFC. And it wouldn't make a difference if I got a storage unit and then put all the stuff in there and then try to work through it within the first 2 months. And it's not wasting money because it's like, it saves us money from all the moving. And like, so I have to remember, like, I have a marriage at that time. So yeah, if I try to eliminate as much stuff as possible and then move my stuff into a small storage unit, and then when it's time to move, like, either one, I can leave it there, or two, I can move it into another storage unit here in Michigan. So it's like, I know what the end is, but I don't even know how to say it without having to be Tibetan about it. It's almost like I can't get through the air. I can't get through the air to that point to put it in my favor, because it isn't already in my favor, but it's not the greatest. I don't like it because I'm getting punished for something that isn't my fault. Because I told all the lawyers what happened. Yeah, I might have gotten like one lawyer to agree and to disagree, but I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair when somebody knows what's going to end up happening and to what extent and degree it's going to get to. And then everybody's just saying, well, we'll just play it out when it happens. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's horrible. Why would you do that if I'm over here telling you I need you to prevent something? Or I need like a court order when I come into Michigan or something like that. To have a court order to be separated is one thing, but to say like, well, we'll just let it pan out, that's going against everybody's fucking psyche. Like, when you're a lawyer, you don't go against your psyche. If you remember the crime, you have to make sure you prevent it as much as you can. That's why you look two-faced. I know, because, like, I'm attracted to one lawyer that it's scary. It's scary, but at the same time, I'm doing a lot of, like, Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter stuff with the whole, like, dyeing fabric in black water, and then, like, bleaching it out, and dyeing and bleaching, dyeing my hair black, all this stuff. Like, as if Harry Potter Hogwarts didn't have a hair coloring treatment class for the wonderful women. Our little beautician school. Okay, that slams against all the little girls that wanted to grow up to be a beautician and still follow Harry Potter, okay? Anyways, but yeah. So like the first 2 weeks is critical. It is. And I haven't decided if I want to break all my fairies to prevent the 2,500 gouge. Because it is a gouge, but at the same time, it does help out a family, but then at the same time, I don't want to be on the road that day, because it was sickening. I couldn't even be in the house. I was so sick. It was just like, oh my God. It's a conflict of religion, and that's something I have to deal with, because that's the past haunting the present, and it's not the greatest. It's no matter how much good you have in the house, or how much jewelry from Forever 21 to weigh you down to be like a Xerxes, it's almost like you almost have to like break, like it's like you have to blow a brain cell or something. It's that bad. I don't know how to explain it. See, if you guys would just blow us up, we wouldn't have this problem. Or at least I wouldn't. And so being like a vampire, it sucks. because I'm not the one that, like, my aggression is based on people being stupid and illogical. That's what it is. And I think a lot of people don't like to be corrected, but that day when I corrected everybody in Mandeville, yeah, it was nice, but it backfired greatly, like 30 times. And it was just like I was forced to make a phone call to break up the air, and it's just like I don't want to do that. And I can't seem to quit on that because it's almost like I'm tied down and I don't know how to. It's an ugly air because one man practices yoga, but he practices with stones, and then there's the dog. So it's not like, it's a mess. It's a yoke mess. It's a Grecian yoke mess, and I want to get out of it. I really do. I do try to say that I want to quit, and it's just, it's not working. It's not working. And nobody helps out to say to my ex-husband that it's not going to work. It's in the best favor that he stays from 7 till 4, 5, and then goes home. No, we start the day at 5:30. So already the mess has been created because it's like nobody's recognizing a repeat. So when nobody recognizes a repeat, there's a lot of things that come into play where it's like, this don't make sense, nothing is talking right. Nobody's talking straight, nobody's talking right. And the same thing happens at Sullivan, the same thing happens with Study Smart and all that, and all the jobs, even Duncan. Nobody's acting right, and because they're making too many CP calls, so now the bubbles they build, and I'm over here trying to prevent bubbles created in Michigan that come into my home within the first 2 weeks because there was something that took place in the office over at a university. So, and that's what started this whole thing. So it's not like it all disappeared. It didn't, because when I see my lawyer walk in, wherever I'm at, and the first time, it shows that they're not making it in Michigan. Because they've kept to whatever that is that they did before. So it shows. I do know one thing, that come December 20th, that morning, I think I'm trying to remember exactly what PowerPoint presentation that I put up on YouTube to send to Joe Biden and let him know that he is going to win the 2020 election, but it pisses off Hillary. And I can't seem to get everybody to understand, once again, that this is repeat. And so what everybody ends up doing is writing books, because that's what Chris says, Chris Wallace and Wolf. When nobody should be writing books, what everybody should be doing right now is staying off the news media, letting Joe fix the government the way he wants to. It happened before, and it was a great news media year. But none of the Republicans were on TV. It was mostly Democrats. And it was nice. It was a breath of fresh air. I don't know where it's lost. And once again, I can't make it to D.C. because you can't get a Romulan to tell the truth. So it becomes a fight. If I do make it into Washington, D.C., is by the grace of God. So that's the only way you guys will be able to have that miracle manifestation, I guess, if you will, because we're still in Wiccan right now. You know how I know we're still in Wiccan? I seen it's a hermit crab snail, and it was unable to stay balanced. So we're still in Wiccan, straight Wiccan. No psychic knows this. No psychic knows this. I do. You have to be a vampire, and it's pretty cool. You have to, it is. Actually, there is one person that might, actually 3 girls that might know it, because they did a movie with Jack Nicholson on it. Close, but not quite. But the laughter part is true. And all I've done is I just give him Buddha back his laughter, because he's sitting there seriously just looking down. You know he's looking down, saying, yeah, how do you not recognize this? He's repeating and repeating. The one thing Tibetan monks don't like getting into is infinity. Once you get into we do the infinity the other way. They call this the infinite loop. So once again, Rick is going to say, you guys need to go get that book and read it. No, just read Flatlands. Read Flatlands, because I have interpreted that book for the Tibetans to understand that neither the world wants to go into the point of destruction, and neither does the world want to move and slide into the world of rebirth. So I have interpreted the book Flatlands. You'll just have to levitate into variations like we do. We can't stand Buddha's love affairs. You won't believe how many girlfriends are left behind. That's nice. You won't believe how much money we spent to offset stupid shit. But yeah. And no, we're not going to have shellfish. I'm going to try very hard not to have it. Because the craving is there to have a bento box of tuna. Because it hurts me that I can't have tuna, because tuna is something I do crave, and it's something my brain says you need to have, but then I have to train my brain to recognize that it's seawater, it's salt water, so I can't have it because there's a certain bacteria on it. And even if you cook it, you set in the bacteria, so there's no way to get rid of it. And that's because of the overpopulation of sea urchins, which have grown to the mass size. So unfortunately, for you humans, you like looking like this, but as a vampire, I can't have it. I can't have it. And unfortunately, it causes depression, because it's like, it's a food I can't have. It's a food I've been eating since I can remember, and now it's like, if I have it, it's dose immediately to remove it. It's not a fun stunt, because it takes me out of it for 2 days. So, do I go up? Yep, I go up. I go up, but I'm pretty fast going up. Anyways, that's enough said. So yeah, so right now we're in Straight Wiccan. So anything you do, any phone calls you make, it's gonna backfire. So how does it backfire? So Straight Wiccan works like this, because most of you women Q-tip yourselves. What you think is yours is going to end up being the next woman. But the problem is that you're not all in the same room Q-tipping yourselves to catch which woman it has and to switch Q-tips. That's the best way to explain it. I've always explained it that way. So, Pumpkin, will you see? Will you see, Pumpkin? Will you see? Anyways, but there's two affairs, two extramaritals, like I don't know what the hell to call them anymore. 2 threesomes, but it's not really. It's like one's a rape, and the second one feels like it, and I don't want to be in this part of the life anymore. And I've expressed it. And it's almost like I just want to afterwards just like self-mutilate. Like I don't have enough money to do a full body replacement, and unfortunately that's what's needed. It's a full body replacement. Like I say no, I don't want sex, and it becomes an ordeal, not recognizing that he's not healthy. He's not. And there's something I know about the medical field too, because it was evident in Aruba that nobody was getting healthy. So it's like, okay, you pay a bill to the doctor's not giving you the full solution because the doctor needs to make money and a living. Oh boy, okay. And it's really easy to falsify test results. And the reason why I say that is because I've noticed that then where I first got my COVID testing, I didn't get my results back, and then like I come here to this urgent care where there is no legal ties to anything, and it's like instant results immediately. And it's almost like a little Kennedy scandal type thing, which I don't like. But if that's how it's set up so that doctors and nurses and practitioners and people can make money, well, count me out of it. That's the reason why I haven't gone to the dentist. because they fucked up my teeth. You don't want to fuck up my teeth. I'll sue you for that. How hard is it to drill through enamel without fucking up the whole tooth? So, you know, my dad spent a lot of money on my teeth with 2 orthodontists. So it wasn't just like one orthodontist, it was 2. And one wanted to do it backwards and the other one wanted to do it correct. And the first one was a female and the second one was a male. So I am so not fucking up my teeth anymore because I can't repay my dad back on that one. So, but it's like all the drama happens in the beginning because everybody's transitioning, and I'm responding no to everybody with their campaign letters. It's like, don't send them out. There is that push to change the name, and then what ends up happening is that Cheryl Agata, and then Paul Weiss, and then Tracy, and then Courtney Webb shows up within the first 2 weeks of January because of Kathy Osmond, and then it's almost like it's a complete showdown, so to speak, and it feels debilitating because it started with I wanted to change my name, and so now it becomes, well, I'm calling everybody because this is starting to become paranoid schizophrenia, and he has no idea what paranoid schizophrenia is. He has none, because in the beginning of the first 2 weeks I'm looking up everything I possibly can to help out with Joe Biden, because he needs ammunition just like the rest of the Democrats that are aware that we're going through this and we're going to step right into December 19, 2015, right into the heart of the tornado. And it's like, how many supporters, how many people are recognizing it to help out? So it's not easy. It's still the same format, you know. Here's a link supporting you and stuff like that, and check out the YouTube video of my support to you. So it's on Twitter, so look for it on Twitter. I think he always looks for it on Twitter. If not, still look for it on YouTube. I always put in the name. I mean, it's hard to not get into the fights because they're the ones setting up the fights, and I'm over here just reaching for goals, because right now to reach for goals is what you want to do. It's not to get into the fight. And a lot of times people that Q-tip themselves are looking for fights instead of looking for goals. Like the one goal I'm trying to attain right now is one tattoo artist to do this magnificent tattoo, which I think will change. It will change the, how should I say it? It actually will bring bad luck to Rick Perry and his state, as well as Lindsey Graham. Because right now it's like, yeah, hair color, yeah, the tattoos, yeah, being motivated, yeah, being all this, but it's tiring for me because there are things I want to do, like quilt. Like, I can't believe that chevron came out like shit. So I'm just like destroying the fabric as much as I can, because it's like right now nothing's working. I did. I sewed it nice, and even the imperfect ones, they came out perfect looking. So it was horrible to see that the trimming didn't work. But yeah, and the one tattoo I want is in Rhode Island, because that's the one that did this one, and it's based off of Forever 21 clothing sweater style. And if I can manage to get to that point and get it done for the price I think it's going to be, because the last time I had it done, it exposed a lot on people, did a lot of exposure, and it still can work, because by the time we get out of Straight Wiccan, we're going to enter into Euphoric Hinduism. And that's a term we have put in. What it is that we have created enough. It's created enough brew, so this way when we hop into December 19, 2015, we'll have a story to tell, a lie to say, and then a confrontation to start off the whole limelight, spotlight on the person. And it's a different take, but we have to coin it like that because nobody managed to stay healthy during this time. And people are not going to continue to stay healthy. They're just not. I know, because I can't walk into a certain restaurant and just sit down and have a plate of pasta there and be safe. And that's the same restaurant equivalent to the restaurant in, where is it at? Newport. I think it's in Newport, or, yeah, it has to be in Newport or it's in Provincetown. One of the two. But I think it's in Newport. No, nope, not that nope, it's, I'm pretty sure, maybe it's in Provincetown. No, not Provincetown. Well, there's another town. Hang on, maybe if I describe the inside of it, you'll all be able to help. Narragansett. I think it's near Narragansett. The Lighthouse, no, I know the Lighthouse. That's not where it's at. The Lighthouse, actually, restaurant happens in 2019. Maybe 2018, where the family, where it's like, oh my God, I don't even know how to say it. It's like it's a sand time dinner. And the reason why I know is because I'm sitting there and just nothing makes sense. I just got done, like, sitting there, 2 days ago, telling my ex-husband, like, I've eliminated seafood in my diet, and look at my skin, look how healthy I look how lean I look and stuff, and able to do stuff, energy that I have. And then it becomes, well, you have to have some sort of piece of seafood in front of my sister and stuff like that, in front of my family, and it's like, I don't want it. That was the whole point of detoxing and getting rid of the stuff. So I know the Lighthouse. We go there at least 3 times. Shit. It's a restaurant during 2017 that I go to. It's got, you walk in, I'm trying to describe it. It's going to hit me in the face. It's not an Olive Garden. I wish it were an Olive Garden, because then I can just say it's an Olive Garden. Because we're in Rhode Island. It's not in Massachusetts, because we don't venture far enough in Massachusetts. It's just Provincetown. It's in Rhode Island, near the waters. It's at the but you walk in, and then as you walk in, the hostess has the. You walk in, there's the hostess. What do you call it? Podium. On the right, I believe, and they'll always switch it to the left sometimes. But straight ahead, you walk, and then straight ahead there's wooden floors. There's tables that go this way. So there's like a little curved wall, and it goes this way. And then there's like white walls this along the side that's straight. Like it's not like a circular restaurant. Not that I don't remember. But something to that effect. So yeah, as you can see, restaurants are not on my list to memorize. It's basically memorizing the first 6 months, because that's where all the momentum and all the hold is at. Because when we enter into 2020, everybody thinks that Trump is going to win, and he doesn't. And here's the reason why. Because Trump didn't do anything to set himself up to win for 2020. Joe Biden does. And that's where, I hope my stuff helps him out. But it has to do with the census. If Joe Biden's team can get an accurate census count with the little tools as possible, which means you can actually do it. You can actually do it based on several things. You can do it based on credit card applications. Forever 21 at the time of 2016 will start asking for credit cards. We'll pick up with credit cards. Here's how it works. We have to have within a week at least 30 credit cards, brand new credit cards. So it's not like repeating customers. Like I said, that's what I want to be as a programmer, is just fix that problem, because then it'll eliminate something. But Forever 21 is going to start picking up new customers, just like everybody else is going to start picking up with new customers too. But the reason why I'm saying Forever 21 is because you're going to get a certain clientele in every single time, and it ends up happening. So that's one way to find out the missing senses. No, it's true. It's true. It's the honest to God truth. If you had to step in and behind the counter and see the kind of filth we get, you would be amazed. And filth in Forever 21 means the wrong clientele. Because I found out like someone was going to apply for a credit card based on their unemployment as income, and it's like, no, you don't do that. Yeah, the clientele for Forever 21 is not what it used to be, but we accept them in anyways, because we need the sales. But they're the ones always returning the stuff the most. So there's that group. There's another way to do it based on voters registration. I want some scrambled eggs. Why are you asking me to make them for you? You know, we both got the Moderna, and my arm healed, and you're acting like you're on your deathbed. So, voters registration, so you'll have to do a little bit of black sheep. And then there's something else that you'll have to do, but it comes with taxes. You guys don't do enough of this. There used to be a point in time where people used to look at taxes and say, is it somebody that was born and raised in the States? Those type of things. So if you already know the answer, I'm just letting you know the answer is there. The answer is there. But you don't want to do too many answers all at once, because you'll end up tying yourself in a whole bunch of knots. Okay? We don't want that. So yes, if you solve the census problem and you present it to him like the first day at one of his debates in like 2016, you're going to get your voters right away. Because we'll all be sitting there saying, we've been through this before. Something will click. Something has to click. Some of it, here's what, 25% clicks within 2016, and it won't hit them until maybe summer 2016. The latest will be 2017 summertime that it's a repeat. So yeah, there is that big long gap, and that's because a lot of people won't see patterns until they've had it's basically how many Q-tips they shove. One woman has shoved 60, and it's just like, oh my god. And that's how many things, it's like how many times they have to see it in order for them to recognize it's a repeat. It's all these crazy, stupid shit. I swear to God. So yeah, I'm encountering that once Kathy walks into Mandeville, because she incorporates that. And that's when the whole, like, well, I might as well just fuck myself up type thing. And I'm over here just like, I'm about to go broke with Clash of the Lords. It's like Clash of the Clans or Clash of the Lords is that little game where you play and you're like beating up other people's like group of armies and stuff. I don't want that, because like I almost really went broke, and that's when like I ended up spending into eBay and all that. It's like the craziest shit that I went through. Yeah. Somebody was on CP big time on CP, and I don't know why. Yeah, I gotta go make dinner.